study to show yourself approved, so that when we are in the presence of Elohim, we're not ashamed, because we can rightly divide the word of truth. This is what it is to understand that our entire essence is connected to Elohim, and that our course or path that can lift us into his presence is dictated by his Torah, and that our manner of living is also dictated by his Torah. We are a peculiar people. We are set apart to him. So if we combine the idea with the first consideration of this verse, we get the following statement that can give us insight in what it is to be an emissary of Yeshua, the restoration, redemption, and deliverance of Yehovah Elohim. If we're to be an emissary, we're going to be, basically we're going to do what Yeshua told us to do. We're going to go and not preach the gospel. And the gospel comes from a Greek word that doesn't line up with the Aramaic. The Aramaic is that we're going to teach the hope, the Servarta, the hope that we have in Yeshua to bring us into the presence of Yehovah Elohim. He said, repent, make teshuvah, for the kingdom of heaven is now. It's at hand. You can enter into the kingdom and have a relationship with Elohim today. You don't have to wait till you're dead to do it. In fact, you have to do it while you're alive in order to have established a relationship. Otherwise, you come before the gate and he says, I don't know who you are. Depart from me, you worker of iniquity. So, but the thought that we come up with is we are to be upright, as we are appointed to serve as a visible monument to show the way. Our focus, the focus in essence of our entire being, to be on the prize, the course or the path that can lift us up in both our course or path in life, as well as in the manner in which we live. This is what we reflect out to the world as being created in the image and likeness of Elohim. We're created in his image and his likeness. We are a mirror of him. As Torah comes to us, we absorb it. We also reflect it back out to the world around us. This is why we are a visible highway sign. Okay? The balance of this verse, we get some thought concerning these two questions. Let's back up a little bit. This is what we reflect on as being created. The question that we ask, and we ask often, especially now during our Omer count, is, where am I? This is an age-old question. We've discussed it several times that after the transgression, Adam and Isha hid themselves. And Elohim, walking through the garden in the breeze of the day, said, where are you? That's not to say, are you hiding behind a rock, or are you hiding behind a tree? He's asking, what have you done? How much damage have you done? He's saying, what is your spiritual state? This is the same question that we have to ask ourselves when we say, where am I? We're asking the same question that Elohim asked Adam. Where have I been? Do I need to make adjustments? And if so, what are they? In the balance of this verse, we get some thought concerning these questions. Where it says, return, O Virgin of Israel, return to these your cities. The word for return is shubi, which is the root of the word teshuvah, meaning to turn around. This word also means to turn back and to be restored. The word for virgin here is betulat. This word, although it means virgin, it also means to separate or to set apart to. So we get an answer as to what to be set apart to in the words of Israel. Israel is a name that means Elohim prevails. Now, we've said that everything has two sides. It means that Elohim prevails. It also means to wrestle with Elohim. So we ask, where are we? Am I wrestling with Elohim? Or am I set apart to him and I have established that he prevails in my life. So the idea
So
that
Michael, can you use the term of being an Israeli and not being a person of Israel?
Well, see, this is something that I can say I'm an Israeli. Okay, if I say I'm an Israeli in the actual sense, I have a passport, I'm from Israel, I'm an Israeli. Okay,
Israeli citizen.
But if I say I'm a child of Israel, what does that mean? Does that mean the same as an Israeli? But if I say I'm a child of Israel, B'nai Israel, what does B'nai Israel mean? B'nai comes from the root bana, which means to establish. Israel means what? That Elohim prevails. If I have established in my life that Elohim prevails, I'm B'nai Israel. You say, I'm not a Hebrew. Really? Were you in one lifestyle before that you didn't know Elohim, but now you've come to a knowledge of Elohim and you're building a relationship to Elohim, with Elohim? Ivrit means to cross over. If I have crossed over from living a life without Elohim, and I've crossed over into a life living for and with Elohim, then I'm Ivrit. I'm a Hebrew. I've crossed over. Well, I'm not a Jew. What is a Jew? It's Yehudim. Comes from the root, Yudah, which means to praise, but it also means to be grateful. If I praise my Elohim, and I am grateful to my Elohim, then I am Yehudim. I get it, I watch a lot of rabbis do lectures, and it's always the Torah was given to the Jew, and the Jew this, and the Jew that, and the Jew the other. And I think that's cool, I'm a Jewish guy myself, so it's all hunky-dory. But the thing is that the Torah was given to those who have established that Elohim prevails in their lives. Mm-hmm. It's an instruction book for those who have crossed over from one lifestyle into a lifestyle with Elohim. And it's given to those who praise Elohim, who praise Yehovah.
I use the term, I am a Hebrew because I went from darkness into his light.
Exactly.
Well, isn't it funny that Jew, the J, which doesn't exist in Hebrew, is the most common term. I guess we use it with a Y if you were to be. But even so, it's just funny that is prevalent. It's like the whole Jehovah thing.
Jehovah, which is Yehovah, that starts with the Yod. The Yod is the smallest letter in the Hebrew alphabet. It's the only letter that stands alone. All the other letters are composed of other letters, but you can't form a letter without the Yod. The Yod is the first mark and the last mark of any letter that you form, and it comprises everything in the middle. So it spells the word emet. It's truth. But these are ideas. These are concepts that we apply to our lives. That it's not just for the Jews, or only Christians have salvation because they believe in Jesus. If I have established that Elohim prevails in my life, and I accept His restoration, His redemption, and His deliverance in His name, His Yeshua, then I have a relationship with a clean slate with my Elohim that I can move forward. And then I am anointed. I receive the anointing of Yehovah, which is Mashiach. Mashiach means to anoint. The anointing of Yehovah, which infills me, surrounds me, and I can do all things through Mashiach who gives me strength. greater is that is in me than that is in the world. If Elohim is with me, who can be against me? All of these things start to make sense. It's not just words that I read in the book. I'm building a relationship. So we ask, where am I? Israel means Elohim prevails. The idea that we consider here is that we must return to a state that we are set apart to Elohim and that Elohim prevails. This is the virgin of Israel, is that I am set apart to Elohim and that Elohim prevails. And this is a thought to consider in the face of the question that we are seeking to answer. Now take a look at the phrase, return to these your cities. The word for cities here is ayariche, from the root ayar, that not only means a city, but is also a word that means excitement, and comes from the word, or the root word, ur, that means to be awakened, or to have one's eyes open. So if we are to regard our relationship with all of our senses, as well as our strength, then this is something to consider. And as such, another question is asked, where is my perception of Yahuwah Elohim? And what can I work on to better it? If we take a look at the word ayar, what's the first letter in ayar? It's ayin. Ayin means what? To perceive, perception. Resh means authority. Whose authority am I perceiving? Am I perceiving my Elohim's authority? Or am I still struggling to perceive my own authority? We are in this time of contemplation. Where am I? Whose authority am I setting myself apart to? What can I do as far as my relationship with Elohim? What can I do to improve it? So in total, we get a single thought and various questions to consider concerning our walk and our relationship with Yahuwah Elohim, as well as our responsibility to be a light to others around us. This thought and its questions that we get from this verse goes as follows. We are to be upright, as we are appointed to serve as a visible monument to show the way. Our focus, the focus in essence of our entire being, should be on the prize, the course or path that can lift us up in our course or path in life, as well as in the manner in which we live. We must return to a state that we are set apart to Elohim and that Elohim prevails. Where have I been? Do I need to make adjustments? And if so, what are they? Where is my perception of Yahuwah Elohim? And what can I work on to better it? We are in the month of Ayir. Ayir is the only month in the Hebrew calendar in which we are able to count the Omar every day of the month. The month before, we begin. The month after, we end it. But in our year, we're counting every single day. So every single day, we contemplate the seven traits and how the seven traits fit into each other. This is a true time for reflecting on these questions as we prepare to enter into the seasons of festivals that we talked about. Today's Torah portion is a double portion, which is called Tazria Metzora. In these portions, we will reflect even more on what it is to be clean and unclean. So, are you in the camp, or are you having to sit outside the camp? So, are you clean, or are you unclean and having to sit outside the camp? The question is, where are you? And as we continue in Jeremiah 31, we have 7 more verses that will help us to understand our relationship to Yahuwah through Yeshua HaMashiach. We'll finish this before Rosh we'll finish it before Shavuot. So hopefully we'll have a good idea as to where we are, what we need to improve on, and how we can reflect. Nobody can tell us what we need to improve on. This is something that takes prayer, takes study, and it takes locking yourself away, closing the windows so the neighbors can't see, and praising in your bedroom. So, any questions on this? Not all at once.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we've achieved groupiness. All right, Chester, shut it off. Go ahead, fire away.